Alright YouTube, welcome back. We're just going to zoom in on a couple of the things we talked about in parts 1 and 2 and dive a little deeper and talk about maybe reinterpreting something or adding a chord here and there. That's exactly what we're going to do today. We're talking about measure 6, we're going to talk about the E7 flat 9 and what we could add to that to mitigate the dissonance with regard to the melody, and we're going to talk about the direct modulation we had at the end of the song. So come on board if you're down, let's get started. Remember in the last video, we called this modulation a direct modulation because it just kind of happens abruptly. It's not like the pivot chord modulation we had earlier in the B section. Well, what we're going to do now is basically reinterpret that as a pivot chord modulation. In other words, instead of seeing this B flat major 7 as the flat 3 of the old key, we want to see it in a different light. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to first have to do this. We'll go to edit mode here. We're going to erase the A, and then we're going to go back to what was our flat 3 chord here, highlight it. All right, and then you'll notice the chord scale is Ionian. This is important because this is one of the reasons we're kind of reinterpreting this chord. So I'm going to change the key now to A, which is where we're going, from G to A, and I can see over here in the map that our B flat major 7 appears in the subdominant region of the map, which is what we want to do. We're going to basically see this as a flat 2 of the key we're going to. This is better for two reasons. It jives better with the melody now because now that chord's chord scale is Lydian, which is also going to work a lot better if you're trying to improvise on top of this progression. All right, so the other advanced consideration we want to talk about is what's going on in measure 6 with regard to this E7 flat 9 and how it doesn't necessarily jive well with the melody note being A. So one of the things we're going to do is turn that E7 flat 9 into an E7 sus first, kind of creating a sort of cadential effect. Let's do this, E sus, and then go to the E7 flat 9 on the 4th beat of the measure, which then will go to A minor 7. So now what we've got here is, I guess at first glance, a somewhat of the break of the harmonic rhythm that we've already established. So basically, that just being harmonic rhythm is the rhythm at which the harmony is moving and how consistent that is. So we have this pattern of a chord every 2 beats. And we seem to have broken that here. And that normally was maybe not a good idea unless you're striving to do something that makes it busier or more dissonant. But the reason it's okay here is because we're coming to the culmination or end of a phrase, thus getting to that A minor 7 where the tension is going to resolve. And maybe even more importantly, the bass doesn't change. So it doesn't necessarily sound like there's an extra chord there, even though there is. That line is created elsewhere within the harmony. So it may look like we're kind of breaking that harmonic rhythm for a split second. We're really kind of not. The ear's not going to hear it like that. But like I said earlier, even if we were, because it's coming to the end of an idea, it's not necessarily such a bad idea. So there you have it. Now we have our E7 sus 4 to E7 flat 9. Hopefully those two considerations were helpful or gave you a better understanding, or maybe just answered some questions you had in the back of your head. Like we said before, this video is not entirely necessary if you want to enjoy the series, but if you stuck around and watched it, thanks anyways. Come back again as we continue to reharm our song with Mapping Tonal Harmony Pro. Thanks for watching.